Everyone, how's it going? So, if you recall in my last update video, I said I was going to be reviewing the Arctic Nation after the Christmas video, but, well, things happened, so instead, no video of Arctic Nation came up. It will be the next video instead, and yeah, if anyone's wondering why I'm just showing you the same book I did before when I talked about Black Sad, it's because Arctic Nation, along with My Red Soul, is all in this book. But yeah, so Arctic Nation's gonna have to wait. And hope you enjoy the video. Hope you're enjoying your New Year's Eve with this crappy time. And I guess I should just bring in the warning right now. Despite the fact this comic does have Batman fighting the Joker, it's not for kids. So, there you go. Everyone, how's it going? It's New Year's Eve. 2020 is near its end. And we still got Batman to cover. So, let's get started. Warning. Spoilers. So last week, Joker made it clear to Falcone that he'd kill everyone to find Holiday, and we open to his plan coming into fruition on New Year's Eve. He's stolen a crop duster and has filled it with Joker toxin, and plans to spread it throughout Gotham Square, with his reasoning being that with the hundreds of people there and no one knowing who Holiday is, there's a good chance that the Holiday killer could be someone in the crowd. Makes sense to me. Batman has caught wind of the plan, which leads to a fight with Joker on the plane. Meanwhile, we got Harvey Dent in his office getting ready to leave, but is stopped by his newest hire, Vernon Wells, who discovers a connection between Bruce Wayne and Falcone. Speaking of Falcone, he's having a New Year's party at his yacht, after having a talk with Maroni where he's pretty much telling him that he's also on the list of his suspects on who Holiday is, asks his sister Carla to look for his son Alberto, but unfortunately Holiday beats her to it and Alberto is shot, with his body falling off the boat, and once again leaves a gun and some New Year's ornaments and champagne. Now, this is the first time I've read this. There is something that I did notice during the last read. Something that I'll get into when I talk about the art. We return to Dent's new home where Harvey is welcomed to both his wife and the Gordon family, who decide to celebrate New Year's Eve with them. But Harvey isn't in the mood and just walks into the kitchen. Gilda is distressed and Jim's wife Barbara tries to comfort her while Jim tries to figure out what's up with Harvey, with his answer being what he learned about Bruce Wayne. Our story ends with Batman victorious in the fight with Joker, unaware that his alter ego is now on Dent's radar. This issue is more of an extension of issue 3. Besides Joker being the primary villain of both issues, there's also less of a time gap between them, with only being a week before. This was the most action-packed issue compared to the last 3, with a good majority of it being focused on the fight with Batman and Joker. But you probably can guess since, this plot synopsis is pretty short. That's not a bad thing, and the fight is handled pretty well, but I'll get into that when I talk about the art. Okay, one more thing. This was kind of a nitpick that, I neglected to bring up. Yeah, I'm professional, am I? One nitpick I also do have is I did wish Joker stuck around after this issue. This is the last time we see him up until the finale. And yeah, I just feel like, with Holiday still around and causing mayhem, you'd think that he would still be plotting and, breaking out of Arkham and doing more. But yeah, they just stopped using him after that. As we talk about the characters, I'm going to talk about Batman and Joker together, who here definitely show how early the two are when it comes to being enemies. Batman is still trying to understand Joker's madness and does try to reason with him in a small degree, while Joker, though clearly having fun messing with Batman, is still not all into the full obsession with him. He is doing this to take out Holiday. And with Batman thinking that this mission will end soon, he's also more optimistic. Then we got Falcone, who is more focused on finding Holiday. Here we find out how much trust he actually has in his associates, which isn't much. He even states that if it wasn't for Alberto, he wouldn't let any of these guys in the party, which makes it more tragic with his son being the next victim. Finally, I'm going to talk about Gilda Dent, Harvey's wife, who here we really get more of her character during her conversation with Barbara about how her and Harvey have been trying to have children when she mentioned how Jim's niece, soon-to-be daughter, Babs, was visiting. Yeah, that's a whole story I ain't getting into. As for Gilda, she's definitely in a state of depression and worry since her and Harvey's lives are in constant danger and it's not really a situation she really wants to be in for, well, obvious reasons. As for the Gordons, there's not much I can say since in this issue they're mostly just emotional support for both Harvey and Gilda. As for our suspects, let's start with Maroni, who, yeah, he's definitely looking more suspicious to Falcone. Besides his motivation, he was the only other person besides Carmine and Carla emphasized to be at the party before Alberto's attack. But still a bit unlikely since, it's kind of obvious, too obvious, and because we already established that he's not quick to the draw. Plus, now with his arm being busted up, it'd be even harder for him to commit the crime. Add that with the fact that now he believes that he is also a target for the Holiday Killer. As for Carla, she's definitely moved out of the list because, well, since she showed up seconds after the Holiday Killer's attack, and also she seemed pretty hurt when it was shown that, well, despite the fact that she is planning on dethroning her brother, that Carmine would actually suspect her to being the killer as well. And finally, there's Harvey Dent, who despite last seen at his office before returning home, Gilda mentions that his clothes are wet, which could easily be linked to the murder on the yacht, though Harvey states that it's because of the snowfall, which is true, but still. As for Sale's art, he definitely got to show how well he draws action scenes, which are still just as elegant yet brutal as ever. And as for the colors by Greg Wright, really get to be diverse, but in a good way, with Batman Joker's fight being very cold, but yet having colors like red and green really pop, while the scenes with the Gordons and the Dents being very warm and a bit stylized. And as for the Holiday murder, I noticed that they returned to making the blood colored while the ornament is back to being black and white. Yeah, I know I said that the rest of the series, the ornaments would be the ones covered, but apparently I missed something when I first read it. My bad. Anyway, it does give me an idea regarding the Holiday Killer, but I'll get into that another time. Hope you liked the video. Like, share, and subscribe. And here's hoping that next year is a less crappier year. Later. Happy New Year.